Hello students, and welcome to step 1 of chapter 10. In chapter 10 we're going to cover primarily the box model. We're going to learn about how to make the box model, and that's going to be required in your assignment for chapter 10. We're going to be working with the lounge folder, and as you can see it looks a little bit different than it has. But here's the lounge site. This is lounge.html, the home page for the lounge website. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new CSS page for this. So we're going to go File, New, and I'm going to add a few attributes to this before I save it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add style to the body. So I'm going to put body, open curly, and I'm going to put font hyphen size as one of my styles, and I'm going to say small because you can control the size of the font with something other than percentage or pixels, and we're going to make it small. The next style I'm going to put is I'm going to change the font. I'm going to put font family, colon, and I'm going to put Verdana, which is part of the sans serif font family, and Helvetica, which is also part of the sans serif, and Arial, and then I'll put the name of the font family. So what I'm saying here is that we're going to use the sans serif font family, but we're going to start with Verdana. If that's not available, we'll use Helvetica. If that's not available, we'll use the default Arial. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add style to, and I usually like to use a couple of spaces, to the H1 and H2. Okay, I'm going to open curly, and I'm going to add a color to this, to the H1 and H2. Color is the color of the font. So the color I'm going to use is hashtag 007E7E, and then semicolon, and then I'm going to add just style to H1 here. H1, open curly, and I'm going to use font hyphen size, colon, and this time I'm going to use percentage, so 150%, semicolon. And then I'm going to do the same thing for H2, but I'm going to save myself a little bit of time, just make a couple of changes here. I'm going to copy this style and paste it, and I'm going to change this H1 to an H2, and I'm going to make it 130%. Okay, so now I'm going to save this. So Control S, and I want to make sure that I save it. I know that I put this on the desktop inside HTML folder. So I'm going to go to that folder. Here it is right here. Inside the lounge folder. So I want to make sure it's right here. And I'm going to call it lounge.css. Okay? So I'm going to find Cascade Style Sheet. So it's going to be saved as lounge.css in the root folder right along with lounge.html. So I'm going to click Save. All right, now I'm going to go back to make sure it's there. There it is right there. So now I have the style. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have a path, or I have a link to that for my lounge.html page, which is right here. I opened it up in Notepad already. And as you can see, I've already created a link to the style sheet right here. Okay? So I'm going to Control S this just to make sure. And then I'm also going to Control S this again. And then I'll refresh my page, and several things happened. Now my font colors have changed, my font sizes have changed, my font family has changed wherever I asked to do that. So now I'm all set to go. I've got a style sheet that is attached to my lounge.html page. Okay? Now I'm going to add a line height to body. That's something that you haven't used yet. So I'm going to go back to lounge.html, lounge.css, and I'm going to make this part of the body style. So the last one I had was the font family. And then I'm going to use this new style called line HEI, and there it is, line height, colon, And I'm going to use EMs for line height. 1.6 EM semicolon. Control S. So anything that's in the body is going to have a line height of 1.6. So let's see what that did. Okay, so now watch my text here when I refresh it. Notice how the space between the lines increased. All right, so let's try a couple of different things here just to show you. We're going to put it back to 1.6, but I just want to show you how this works. If I were to take this 1.6 EMs and change it to, let's say, 200%. Okay, just to make it look different. Control S, and I don't think I'm going to like the way this looks. No, it's too much. It's too much. Or how about if I did this? Instead of making it too much, if I made it too small, 0.5 EM. Okay, 0.5. Control S, and now when I refresh it, all the text is going to be jumbled on top of each other because the line spacing isn't enough. So you can control the space between the lines with the line height style. Okay, I'm going to go back to 1.6 EMs. Control S and refresh to make sure that it's back to normal. Okay, that's where I want it. So I'm good there. Okay, we're going to do one more thing before I stop step 1. What I want to do now is I want to create a class, okay, on my lounge.html page. So we're going to look for the paragraph in lounge.html that starts with our guarantee. See it right here? And we're going to create a class by putting our cursor in the p tag, space class equals, open quote, and we're going to call it guarantee. Okay? Alright, so we called it guarantee. So now we have a class called guarantee that only pertains to this paragraph. Alright, now I'm going to control S before I forget. And then I'm going to go back to lounge.css and I'm going to start creating some style for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put dot guarantee, okay, open curly, and I'm going to start with a border hyphen color colon black semicolon. Then I'm going to use border hyphen width colon, and I'm going to use 1px semicolon, and then I'm going to use border hyphen style colon solid semicolon, and the last one is going to be background hyphen color colon hashtag A7CECE semicolon. Okay? Control S to save my changes, and then now when I refresh my browser and look at this paragraph right here, I now have it boxed in, which is what I was looking for. Okay, I'm going to stop step 1 here before we get too far, and we'll begin step 2. Okay? Thanks for watching.